Do you agree that there is a transportation crisis? So you don't agree, sir, na meron tayong mass transport
Oo nga namang wala pa.
for
Eh,
you
may
okay
solusyon
yun?
naman doon eh. If you want to arrive early in your destination, then you go there earlier.
Today, we move faster. We consider time as gold. People travel, not only for vacations, but also for everyday use. Public transport is widely used around the world. Its main purpose is to move people or objects from one place to another. Public transportation, such as trains and buses, are different per country. The public transportation introduces the culture, the people, and it gives the feel for what the country is all about. In most big Asian cities of 10 million plus people, their metro system is efficient and enjoyable, like in Taipei, Seoul, Bangkok, Hong Kong, Singapore, Beijing, Shanghai, and even in Jerusalem. All of these cities have immaculate metro systems. They don't require common sense to use them because it is easy as can be. But in the Philippines, it's a different story. It's a complete disaster to get around. The traffic here is amongst the worst on earth.
Ang mga kasayang ko palabas, sa mga kapatid ko, hindi ko masakay na train.
Seriously, it takes 2 to 3 hours to drive 15 kilometers if you're lucky. You think by now, Philippines have an efficient metro system figured out. There's actually been an MRT here for 21 years, but it's horrendous because the metro in the Philippines is hot, smelly, and it's overly crowded. Lack of funding is not the issue why the trains in the Philippines sucks in Manila. In 2012, billions of money were set aside to expand and decongest the rail systems. The government created new stations and built 48 new trains, all of which are still not usable today because of technical difficulties and faulty designs. How does that even happen to 248 trains? Let's talk about the public buses. They are debatably worse than the MRT. They don't run on any schedule, meaning they go whenever it's packed to the brim with passengers, so you can either wait 1 minute or 1 hour. If all seats are full, then it's standing section only. The air condition is always blasting cold air, and the driver will never turn it off, but at least it costs only 10 to 20 pesos. How about the jeepneys? Jeepneys have been a part of the Filipino culture for many years. These artsy four-wheeled vehicles are what Filipinos are known for. Many citizens prefer jeepneys because it is the cheapest way to commute around the country. If it is a 3-lane road, the jeepneys doesn't care if they are in the second lane because the jeepneys stop whenever they want. The current jeepney models are definitely not environmental friendly. These diesel-powered vehicles are dubbed as the primary source of pollution in the cities. The black carbon that they emit contributes to the problematic climate change and also puts people's health at risk. There needs to be a solution to clean up this traffic as more than 15 million people lives in Metro Manila. Things are getting busier. Jeepneys need to take their daily passengers. Giant trucks needs to deliver their goods. And taxis need to take their passengers. This is a nightmare. If it's rush hour, my advice is avoid the streets, avoid the metro, and just stay at home. That's the harsh reality here in Manila. Unless you commute by helicopter, Manila traffic knows no social classes. Walang pinipili. The rich and the poor experience the same traffic congestion. But the richer you are, the more options you have. Tiis na lang. What else can the majority do? It's not like most can buy a car tomorrow, as those cost hundreds of thousands of pesos, plus gas and maintenance. It's costly to use ride-hailing apps all the time. Taxi drivers still reject riders, and not everyone would want to hop on a motorcycle. If you're a low-paid staffer or laborer who has to wake up at 4 in the morning just to reach your workplace by 8, using the public transport, and who then has to fight it out with other commuters later in the day to get home by 9 in the evening, you'd be wondering, is there an alternative? Traffic is just getting worse. The population is expanding, and roads cannot be built as fast enough. The government only plans, but has no will. You don't want to be exposed forever to blaring horns, drivers kicking and screaming, privileged officials with the police escorts. The transportation crisis can be related to the philosophical framework of Martin Heidegger, the bringing forth and challenging forth. We all know that bringing forth of transportation is to bring the people or objects to their respective destination with just a small amount of money. The transportation crisis itself is the challenging forth of our everyday commute.